My advice for high school seniors is not to be overwhelmed by all the pessimism that exists in our society today. I think we're living in the greatest time alive, and the amount of improvements in our life are there for the taking. It's important to have a high-quality education for sure, and drive and determination, but it's also important to be optimistic about the future and take some risks along the way. Don't have it all planned out.
It's very important to have a critical disposition and even suspicion of any kind of group conformity.
Yeah.
That you want to be able to think critical. There's elements within any group, voices within a group, that there's a good chance you learn much. But in the end, you don't want to just fit in.
My advice to a high school senior would be, you need to think for yourself, and you need to avoid falling into a spirit of tribalism. Be careful that you never allow yourself to be indoctrinated or engage in indoctrination. Make sure that you're never somebody who wants to shut down an argument being marshaled against your side or your view. You always want to be the person who encourages those challenges because you care more about truth than you do about your own opinion.
Surprise yourself, learn another language maybe if it's possible. Read a book that you think, gee, I'm not going to be interested in it. Well, that book looks too big or that book is too difficult. Read the book. Meet people who you don't come into contact with. Take a moment and make the effort to get to know somebody else.
The most important advice I would give to a senior is figure out who you are. I know you probably think you know, but I'm in my 40s now and I'm still figuring out who I am. But the earlier and the better you can figure out who you are, not who people say you are and not who you think you should be for whatever group that might be around you. But the better you can do that, the more fulfilled I think your life will be.
I always want to give kids the message, you can do anything, you can learn anything. I don't like the focus on learning loss. I think it's a negative framing that we don't want to get to kids. I think we want to have them know that they can do anything.
I think if I were talking to a current high school senior, I would encourage that person to write down the story of what happened in the past year and a half to them, and write it in the third person, so they can get some distance from it. First he did this, then she did that. And write it in a way that you want your kids to read one day. The stories we tell ourselves about how we cope with disaster are really important. So tell a story that's true, tell a story of resilience.